Let's take a look at the system's perspective and communication. The emergence of the system's perspective represented a fundamental shift in talking about both the natural and the social world. For 3 centuries prior to the system's theory, the dominant explanatory metaphor had been the machine, the idea that everything in the universe can be understood mechanically. Starting in the 17th century, the ambition of the newly emerging sciences was to control, predict, and conquer nature. Everything in the universe, both natural and human, could be reduced to the causal, linear relationships. In this model, humans and animals were seen as nothing more than elaborate mechanical beings that could be understood through dissection and examination of their individual parts. In an organizational context, Frederick Taylor's principles of scientific management are the best realization of this mechanistic, reductionist model. Taylor analyzed work by breaking it down into its basic, irreducible elements and then redesigning these elements into one best way. In this sense, his methods were both deterministic and reductionist. And like the parts of a machine, workers could easily be replaced without affecting organizational efficiency. Similarly, Max Weber viewed organizations from this mechanical perspective, seeing them as stable, bureaucratic structures that ideally functioned independently from the human office holders who occupied them. The emergence of the systems perspective challenges all of these assumptions about the way the world works. The systems approach recognizes the role of human observer in constructing the reality around us. In this sense, the world is not something out there operating independently from us. Moreover, how we perceive the world has a profound effect on how we act towards it. What does it mean to adopt a systems approach to the study of the human and natural world? GST is the general science of wholeness. With this definition as a worldview, GST sees all systems as having characteristics in common regardless of their internal structure. Thus, everything from the structure of biological cells to the social and economic structure of society shares common features that explain its functioning. With GST, we attempt to provide a holistic framework that brings together research from various fields to produce a comprehensive view of human beings, nature, and society. A system, biological or social, is made up of components that function well systemically. From a systems perspective, change is not linear and causal, but rather affects the entire system. Similarly, one element of a system depends on many other elements of the system to function effectively. In this sense, a system is defined not by its parts, as a machine would be, but by the relationship between and among the parts. One of the most important features of a system is ordering it into a hierarchy. Systems are not structured on a single level, but rather possess information and function dynamically across multiple levels. In sum, when the systems perspective emerged in the 1960s, it represented a radical new approach. Chaos, complexity, disequilibrium, and disorder rule the day. Rather than seeing change as a background condition that organizations must deal with when it arises, change is approached as a defining, necessary feature of organizational life. In this perspective, organizations that are stable and orderly are likely to fail. The idea that chaos should be a defining feature of organizational life certainly strains our common sense view of how organizations function. The first thing to understand about complexity is that it is different from complication. Complexity and chaos are closely connected. A system is chaotic when it's impossible to predict what it will do next. The focus on self-organizing systems is an effort to understand how order emerges out of conditions of chaos.